Hi, guys. I'll answer your questions for you.
We'll open up front left. Mitch?
Urban, you're getting great production from receivers this year. It's the same guys as last year. Have some of them developed that much, or is it just that Dwayne's thrown to them now?
Combination of both, but those guys really have developed. You think how far Terry McLaurin and Paris and Johnny Dixon was, if I remember right, in January, wasn't sure he was going to play anymore just because of the knee issue, chronic knee issues that he was dealing with. So combination of both, but you can't look past that development.
Far left. Lori?
Coach, we've talked a lot about how all the injuries you've faced have affected you on game day. How much of an impact has it had during practices? Are these guys that would normally be sitting because of your Ryan Shazier rule, or has it really affected your impact on practice days?
The Ryan Shazier rule. That's a great one. In case there's some new people in here, the Ryan Shazier rule is the mental reps instead of competitive reps. So very good, Miss Lori. We have some of that. You have that anytime you're into week 7, week 8, whatever it is, you have some of that you're dealing with. So it does impact practice quite a bit, to be honest with you. It's when you start, scout teams start getting watered down because you took your redshirt guys or potential redshirt guys and now moved them into those backup roles. So that just the trickle-down effect takes place this time of year.
Third row left. Dan?
Urban, what are the biggest ways in which you've seen Brian Hartline grow as a coach from the beginning of the season to where he is now?
Well, he was here for a year before, and he's very good technically, obviously, because that's how he's made a living for quite a while in the NFL. Where he's improved is the tactical part, which is that goes on in that room there. So he's made much improvement there.
Is there anything specific he's brought to those wide receivers that have helped lead to that development you talked about before?
Oh yeah, instant credibility, knowledge, play the game. Yeah, I love him. He's doing a great job.
Over to the right. Clay?
How often are receivers allowed to practice one-hand catches? Is that practiced, or is that just developed over time, or is it a guy just stick his hand out, oh, look what I found? Or has Chris Gardner just handed that down over the years?
Well, I've never been asked that before. Guys practice it. Guys have fun with it. Guys sometimes are caught in that situation. I've never seen more one-handed catchers than in recent years. I think ever since that was a great NFL player made that. What was his name? Odell, yeah, great player. But yeah, they practice it all the time, and it's more having fun. You don't go out and practice one-handers, but you get caught in those situations, and I see them work on it.
Over here to the right. Austin?
Urban, it seems like the last couple of weeks you've started mentioning Tyreek Smith's name more. Is there more urgency now, or now that Nick is definitely not coming back, to get him going?
Sure, but Nick hadn't been with us since really week 2 or whatever it was, week 3, I believe. But Tyreek's just getting better and better and better. He's got a great future, great future.
What does it take for somebody that's in their first year? I know he's not going to replace Nick or any of that stuff, but to get out there and play 20, 25 snaps at defensive end, be in the trenches as a true freshman.
Yeah, that's unusual as a true freshman to play offensive or defensive line. That doesn't happen very often. Obviously, Nick did it, and we've had some guys do it around here. But Tyreek's a very gifted guy. The thing he has also, very mature, very intelligent guy.
Right next door. Tim?
Yeah, Urban, when you lose a guy like Nick and he's gone now and stuff, but do you address the team as in, because anybody can worry, can wonder about, a guy coming back through the door, maybe helping them, but that era is over. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, do you address your team in that regard? That
we have conversations.
Lost,
I don't like to share what I do things with the team, but we have conversations.
But you personally, is that the way you have to look at it as a coach, that it is now moving on?
Is that how I have to look at it?
Yeah, in other words,
yeah.
He's not coming back, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the way we all look at it. And I will say this, that Nick Bosa and Joey and the Bosa family, from day one they walked on this campus, they're great people. They have done so much for this. So we all love them to death and wish them well.
And one other thing, when I say Jeff Brom, what comes to mind? Is he a great schemer? How would you describe him to somebody from an offensive standpoint?
Very aggressive and creative.
right next door. Bill?
The offense obviously is, in a lot of ways, done very well, but a couple areas that it has in the short yardage and obviously the run game and the red zone. How much of an area of concentration has that been this week, and have you been able to find things that you think you can do better?
Yeah, it's been that way for several weeks, but we are, that's a topic of many, many hours of conversation on how best to handle the short yardage and how best to handle the red zone. It seems to be very productive in other areas of the field. So we spend, obviously, the whole saying that, enhance your strengths and work on your weaknesses, and that's what's been going on.
It's been asked before, the Tate Martell, is that a possibility that he could
Sure.
be used?
Yes.
Final two individuals over to the left. Doug?
Urban, in general in the red zone, I know you guys have red zone packages or that kind of thing, but with a quarterback like Dwayne, when you're running this kind of offense, how different do you want your plays in the red zone to be, and how much is it like, well, you know what, it worked at midfield, it'll work down here, how much is it kind of the same stuff?
It's complete, good question, Doug. It's just the whole field condenses, and you don't have the vertical stretch, obviously, down there, so it's a much different game. And we work a lot, and it's very, we're not the only people that have some issues down there. The single wing style of football is still a very productive way of when you get down. That's why you see some people do the wildcat, et cetera. But throwing, you got to be creative, and you got to, be very good. And we at times are very good, and then at times we're not. But just a much different. You can't just say, let's do the same stuff you did out on the 40-yard line to put it on the 6-yard line. It's just completely different animal down there. The whole coverage scheme changes, and there's no windows really.
And final question, second row. Ari?
Urban, you talked a little bit about how Isaiah Prince has been one of the most improved players, but it seemed like he really struggled on Saturday. Gave up a few sacks, had some penalties and stuff. What did you see from him on tape? And when a guy that's improved that much seems to have a setback, how does that happen? What do you guys do when it does?
Arguably had one of his better games early in the game, and then that 45 had a good couple plays against him, and he struggled, but he rallied back and finished well. So yeah, that happens. But he moved on, and we had a great week of practice and back at it.
Kevin said that he might have been living in the past a little bit mentally. Can that happen to
Kevin.
a line? Yeah, Kevin Wilson, sorry, after the game.
Well, I think, you just get frustration. He's a much different player than he was 3 years ago. So it was frustration, if anything.
And then one quick one. Do you consider if a lineman in the game is having a hard time moving a tight end over to help or put extra help on the edge, and was that something that you guys considered on Saturday?
On Saturday, did we? We actually did it a couple times during the course of the game, and that's always available if we get in a situation like that.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, guys.